cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, Technologic.
Live from studios in Self Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Welcome into the we're going to talk about Apple today show. We do this a couple times a year, and this is where you don't really hear me much.
Well, we want to hear you.
You don't hear me tell the story. You hear me make comments.
Well, that's fine. That's
most
part
of
of the
time,
show.
right?
Part of it is we're very opinionated.
Well, I am.
We know that.
And I will be honest, I did not watch the keynote, the whole 2-hour-long commercial, whatever they did.
It was an hour.
The hour-long commercial. I did not watch it. But I will say, I forget the reason why. I forget why I went to Apple's website. And I think it had to do with phones. I was looking up how the upgrade program worked. That's what I did. And it was like, anytime they get ready to do an announcement, they say, hey, we'll be back soon, because they're getting ready to unveil something. And I totally did not realize that this event was about to happen until y'all started texting. And I was like, oh, that's the reason. Because I was like, why can't I even get to how the upgrade program works?
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, and somebody at work today asked me, they were going by my office, said, hey, is the Apple event, is it done? I was like, yeah, it was yesterday. And they're like, oh, okay.
But
so
is it done?
So this news. So this
Have they finished yet? They wrapped it up yet?
Still going.
I told him, he was like, okay, so what the news is reporting is actually true. I said, yeah, unless it's CNN.
You are fake news.
It's fake news, but no, I was just kidding. But I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Need to go back and register
I have an
that
excuse for
domain.
that. What now?
I said, need to go back and register that domain.
Okay.
Firstgetitwrong.com. But yeah, so I did. I was, whenever I saw the message, and I was like, well, they must be getting ready to release the new iPhones.
Oh, and buddy, did they?
And y'all started messaging. I was like, well, yeah, that confirms my suspicions.
Well,
but I was wanting to figure out, how they're.
Greetings to all of you from cyberspace. This little 2-hour window that we get to talk about whatever tech we want to discuss is usually how it goes. But then we also have a wonderful phone system. And if it works, we would love to hear your discussions tonight. And you can find us on the old telephone line, 256-782-5600. And we'll be glad to take your call. We will be having discussions about the new Apple event that happened yesterday. And I did get to see some of it. But unfortunately, I worked through part of lunch and was not able to really delve into it like I would like to. Guru did a wonderful job of laying out some notes, which
thank you.
We'll be covering.
Feverishly typing.
And there are some points of which I am still fascinated on.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it as we go through.
We
this.
will.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. And we've got some other things going on, too. Just some oddities. Tesla has some things, if we don't forget to talk about that. It's some fascinating. Of course, we got this big thing circling out there in the Atlantic Ocean. I don't know. You can hear this
UFO?
show anywhere you want to. See us, too, by the way. And hear us tonight on the video. And that is at heytechieshow.com. But Florence, how far is it? Where's it at?
Let's hang on.
I thought you were. Well, anyway,
I was wanting to say something else, and I can't remember the name of what I was going to talk about, what the thing was. But as Florence, as of, I guess this is the latest, 7 p.m. Central.
Okay.
It's just off the coast, I guess. It don't have a distance.
That's okay.
Have the lat long, but that means nothing to nobody.
Right.
100-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
Northwest at 5 miles per hour.
Oh, so it's going back a little northwest.
Yes.
Because it was taking a southerly track.
Yes, but
Well,
don't look at the
No,
wind,
I know,
But don't
I
look
know.
at the wind speed. It's supposed to be a huge event, like
Oh, yeah, I
storm
understand.
surge and the flooding inland.
Oh, it's going to be
I mean,
devastating.
You're talking. Some of these places may get rain measured in feet
They
instead
were
of inches.
talking when it was out a little ways. They were saying that they had measured in this scientific data that they had, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm just saying that they figured it out between different measurements that I quite don't know how to carry my 2 and add my 3 and my 4 times 10. But anyway, they were saying there was 83 feet waves, 83-foot waves.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying there is or there isn't. I
Yeah.
don't. They said there were, and if there are, fine. But that's
And
up there.
And here's there's something interesting. This kind of surfaced on the interwebs earlier today. Apparently, there's an abandoned. It's not abandoned, but it used to be a former Coast Guard light tower
Yeah.
out 30 miles off the coast
Right.
of North Carolina.
And they were going to have
And somebody is converting it into a place you can stay out there.
Huh.
They're calling it Frying Pan Tower,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and they
that's
have
attractive.
lives. But they have
yeah,
they have
you're in the
live.
frying pan.
Well, but they have live webcams.
Yeah, I've heard that they do.
Streaming, and earlier it was quite remarkable seeing the wind. They had one of the shots had an American flag in the foreground, and you could see the wave action off in the distance. But yeah, fptower.com is their website. I mean, apparently you can buy shares in this structure. I guess
Would you
call it.
guys fly on that plane that flies through the eye?
I'd love to. I would love the opportunity
I would just be
to be on
so
the Hurricane Hunter.
unnerved.
I would
I
want.
mean,
I would want to do it one time, and then probably after that I'd be done. But
I think once
That'd
you've
be
done,
so-
I
that'd
think
be so
once you've
cool.
done it once, it probably.
yeah, that's a very
You might
that's
as
a
well do it
very
a second
very
time.
cool job to have. But yeah, but Frying Pan Tower.
Yeah, fractional ownership shares available at $25,000 each.
Oh,
You
seriously?
can own a piece of history. Start your own adventure.
Yeah,
20. What? You can stay there.
You can own it, a piece of it.
Own a piece of. What does that mean?
Timeshare.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, that's what I figured.
Let me tell you about this amazing offer.
Right. Exactly right.
yeah. If you'll listen to our sales demonstration, we'll give you free tickets to
Yes. right.
insert name of theme park
Yeah.
here.
We'll give you free tickets to ride.
Two
on
shares
the,
equals two owner
Yeah,
plus two
to ride
guests.
on the Vomit Comet over the next hurricane. You can.
Well, I'd sit through a sales presentation for that.
Uh,
Anyway, yeah. So that was quite interesting. But prayers for all those affected.
yes, absolutely.
They did say, someone said earlier today here in East Alabama, there was a convoy of Alabama power trucks heading east on 20. So they're heading
Oh yeah, I'm sure. they're-
towards the storm to
Right.
be ready on standby in the event they're needed. So that's always good to see these different power company crews, working together and helping each other, because more than likely there'll be a lot of infrastructure has to be rebuilt.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
prayers for those who had to evacuate, prayers for those that are going out and working in these conditions and the aftermath of
Yeah.
it, being away from their families.
Yeah. I mean, nature. It's always rough.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, when the Hey Techie show returns,
Apple's taking over for a little bit at least.
yeah, Hey Techie show. Be right back.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies show for your listening pleasure.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment not found in the civilian world. The Army National Guard can get you started in an array of STEM-related career fields such as information technology, communication systems, special forces engineers, technical engineering, air traffic control, and chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear science. Get a head start on your career in an exciting new field while earning money to pay for college, all while serving in your own community. Log on to NationalGuard.com or talk to a recruiter in your area to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The 375,000 acres that make up the 3 ranger districts of Talladega National Forest were purchased by the federal government in 1936 as part of an effort to restore clear-cut timberlands and farmlands no longer capable of producing crops. The beautiful reserve includes the 102-mile Pinhoti National Trail System and Alabama's highest and second highest points, Mount Cheaha and Duggar Mountain.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the
When a
ADA,
child
and
plays
this
with
station.
blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Welcome back into the Hey, we're going to talk about Apple show.
The Hey Techies Show. So glad to have all of you with us and hope you're having a fabulous weekend. Of course, I know football is back in spades, so a lot of people's attention is to that. And because of the hurricane, by the way, there was a lot of games that were moved. And actually earlier this week, there was some Monday, I think, and there was some Tuesday. But anyway, that's just a side note. But yes, yesterday there was a much anticipated
What happened yesterday?
event.
Apple event, Bruce. Stay focused.
And of course, they released all of their phones, their new phones. There's 3 of them.
Well, they spent a little over an hour, and basically all we got out of it was watches and phones. And at the end, they kind of, oh, by the way, this.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's worth talking about.
It's not really. It's like 2 seconds worth of.
Guru.
They spent like 45 seconds at the end of the
And
presentation.
I'm sure most people know that this has happened. I mean, I imagine
most of the major media outlets
have run it into the ground already.
But in case you're not aware, like Bruce, we're going to tell you about it.
I didn't listen to it just because I wanted to be y'all to be
You
the
wanted
first
to-
to tell me.
Oh,
Okay. Oh,
that is so not
that's-
touching.
Yeah.
Oh, there's setup to that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So,
So
you want to start, or you want me to start?
yeah, you can start.
Okay. So they started off talking about Apple Watch.
Yes.
So the rumors were true. Series 4 was announced yesterday. Some of the specs are even right, like larger display. That was right. They said it was a 30% larger display. New dual-core S4 processor, 2 times faster. It's always 2 times faster.
Yeah, that's right. It's always better, more beautiful.
Yeah, they said faster accelerometer and
The
gyroscope.
best watch they've made yet.
Yes,
right.
the best everything.
Fastest,
Faster accelerometer, gyroscope.
thinnest,
Hush, Bruce.
longest lasting.
I can't get
That's
this.
gum. Go ahead.
Faster accelerometer and gyroscope to make for better sensitivity, they claim.
That was the most sensitive watch ever.
But it's a little.
Darn, it's Phil.
But like the face of the watch is a little bit bigger. Like they come in a 40 and a 44 millimeter.
Huh.
Where the previous
Yes.
gens were 38 and 42. So just a few millimeters, I guess, bigger, wider. But the body itself is thinner. The display, like the bezel around the display, is thinner. So the screen
Well, to get
is
a
30% larger, but you only gain a few millimeters in the overall face of the watch.
Yeah, but when you're moving from 38 millimeter to 40 millimeter, I mean that's
2
the
millimeters.
percentage, though. I mean, I could see
But
how they would gain.
Yeah, but
30%.
there's also a thinner bezel, so
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger and skinnier and all at the same time.
So they they said they re-engineered the digital crown,
Yeah.
and it has haptic feedback now. So as you actually rotate the crown, you get that it's almost like you're just mechanical,
Right. Now,
which is kind of I don't know.
wasn't that one of the things they were rumored to do away with? That was a
Yes,
discussion?
that was one thing that the rumors were wrong because there were some rumors pointing to no buttons, no digital crown,
Yeah.
no hardware buttons,
Right.
just being all
Right.
touch.
They gotta have a plan for the future. I mean,
Oh, exactly.
Yes, right. What do you do
That'll be
next
What do
year?
you
That'll
do
be series,
next?
series
What do you
5
do
or
next
something,
year?
right? Yeah.
well, no, they'll drop one thing of like the 2 buttons or whatever that's on there.
Yeah. But
I don't.
they re-engineered the speaker that's built in, which is 50% louder. They say, which that's one thing. Like the speaker on it, like if you're taking a call
Yeah,
on your watch, when I've done it, it's not that loud.
Yeah.
Which
we
I mean,
talked about that.
yeah, we've talked about that before. Yes, and they relocated the microphone to reduce echo. when you're-
Echo.
Yeah, that.
Next one will have multiple microphones.
But the back of it is entirely ceramic and sapphire crystal. There's no metal on the back, and they say that helps with radio waves being able to more freely pass through the device. It gets for better reception, like cellular reception for the
Yeah.
cellular model, that type of thing. But they did all this improvement, but the battery life.
Elegance.
But here's the thing. This is the thing that I think Bruce is going to.
Wow.
Yeah, the battery life remains the same as the previous models. Did not improve the battery life.
Huh.
Well, my guess would be is
'Cause
they.
you can't go more. You can go a little over a day on a full charge with an Apple Watch.
It's more powerful.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
I would.
So-
I don't agree with that statement in a way. They did increase the battery life.
With the battery life,
They increase the battery
They
capacity.
the power is there's more battery power available, but
Right.
it's being consumed more.
I
But
understand
the
that.
overall battery life to the consumer, like how long is this thing gonna last?
Well, I guess it would be better said
the same.
they didn't lose any battery life.
Well, you could say it that way.
We didn't make it worse.
Yeah, they didn't make
Yeah.
it. Well,
But let me move past it because here's the things that I liked about it. Besides it being re-engineered and all that, that's kind of you expect that. They've engineered with these new accelerometers and gyroscopes. They've now figured out a way to tell if you have fallen. It has fall
yeah,
detection.
that's amazing, actually.
And the way they described it in the keynote, like if it detects a fall, it'll I guess alert you, and it'll give you the option to do the emergency SOS, call 911, from the watch.
What if I'm skydiving?
Well, no,
It's like, holy crap, it falls really fast.
but here's also the kick of it. If you remain motionless for a certain period of time, I think this maybe said a minute. I'm not sure. It will automatically do emergency SOS for you.
After you fall.
Yes, after you've fallen. So like
Right.
if you're falling and you're unconscious, you can't.
right.
What if you wear it to bed, roll out of bed, and go back to
I guess
sleep?
I guess it would. Which I don't wear mine to bed because I can't get 2 full days charge on it. Anyways,
Well, you're wearing your watch at the wrong time.
yeah. So I thought that was very nice because you think about some people that are maybe more prone to falling.
Oh yeah.
Because you could give them, they could have this device and have the Sailor model, and you're going to pay for service for it, but it's like $10 a month. But that would be, in considering the alternative, these medic alert, bracelets and different things. I mean,
how much
it's
those cost.
there's several $100s up front. It's like $50 a month. Was a friend of mine told me.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
some of them are very expensive.
So I think that's I like that. I really like that.
Wow.
But here it gets even better. But wait, there's more. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now it has a built-in ECG
Correct.
electrocardiogram reader
Right.
in the watch. and it will detect if you have like an irregular rhythm while you're wearing it, what they call AFib, atrial fibrillation.
Right. AFib.
Yeah,
That's
and it'll
correct.
alert you. You know, it's the watch in the past has alerted you if you have like a high pulse rate. It'll warn you,
Correct.
but it'll detect for the AFib and it will detect for a low pulse.
Can you turn those alerts on?
You probably can. I guess
Bruce, your blood pressure's high. Bruce.
But
now
it's not blood pressure; it's pulse.
Well, I know. I'm saying it would if it also did blood pressure and pulse on top of that.
I don't know. It don't do blood pressure, but the
sure?
electrocardiogram that's pretty cool, and it'll be monitoring that like while you're wearing it. But you can also, it's not available at release because there's an app that's coming for it. But you can actually put your finger on the digital crown,
Right.
and it'll you hold it there for like 30 seconds, and it'll actually do the reading right then. There's going to be an app. It's not available at
Correct.
release. I got an article.
So isn't
That's
there a
coming
band
later this
that's
year.
made right now for the current
Yes,
models?
there is. There's a band that's made.
It's like a third party accessory.
Yes, it is an EKG.
Yeah.
Which
And-
I asked somebody that's in the medical profession. ECG, EKG, those are used interchangeably.
They are, but I think they are do a little different.
Well,
It's
anyway,
my understanding that they do read something different.
And I will say that
Maybe.
band is pretty darn accurate. The one that
Well,
the third party one.
but this being built in, like you buy an Apple Watch, you buy the base model, you can do the ECG.
Go ahead.
Now it won't be available at launch, like I said. That's coming later this year. The app's not ready. Plus, that's going to be limited to the United States at first. There's an article mentioning that we'll put in the show notes at some point.
Yeah. Next year.
But they said the reason it's limited to the U.S. currently is because of regulatory approvals, FDA for the U.S. and there's other bodies across the world that have similar
Right.
authority over that. So it has to be approved by those regulatory agencies. So that's kind of the broad stroke highlights of the Apple
But
Watch.
now-
but let me finish real quick. The prices are about what we've been expecting. The 40 millimeter, which is a smaller size, $399. I think it's $499 for cellular. I think I typed that wrong on the notes.
$4.99 for cellular.
Yeah,
That's right.
and then the 44 millimeter, the larger face, is $429 and $529 if you want cellular. Those are the starting prices. Like if you want the sport band.
Yeah, it's the starting prices because I'm looking at
If you
one
want
right
the-
now. It's $1,500.
Yeah, I mean they go way on up if you want the nicer case and the fancy leather and a
the
fancy
fancy leather,
the
Yeah.
fancy stuff. But like a
genuine leather.
but orders for these will open tomorrow, the 14th.
Yep.
And be available the following week on the 21st. The Series 3 will still be available, and the price have lowered $279. I missed
$379.
$279 and $379, depending if you get cellular or not.
$32.79.
No, $379.
$279.
And
Okay.
then in the 42 millimeter, $309 or $409.
Ooh, get the 409. Giddy up.
Yeah. Giddy up. $409.
So if you don't want the latest and greatest, you can get a Series 3, save some money.
Now, here's well,
There's new watch bands too, by the way, if anybody cares.
yes, there were. Although I didn't see any of that. I missed all of that. I caught.
too.
Yeah. Seriously though, I caught it
Seriously.
when they started the iPhone stuff. Anyway, what I was going to say is, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but
Hey, Michael, you're wrong.
I know. But
No, I'm
I
just kidding.
I wasn't right about something. But I believe that it's possible that they don't have a watch next year.
Really?
Yeah, it skipped next year.
Well, that's a rumor segment coming up.
Yeah, it's just. I'm just theorizing.
You don't think they'll have one next year? I think they will. It'll be similar to the Series 4. It'll just be improvements.
Yeah, I mean,
Because, you think about the original Apple Watch, the Series 1, the 2 and the 3 are basically the same thing.
didn't they
just
skip
keep
a
on.
year?
No. Every year
I
they've
was
had an
thinking
Apple
they
Watch.
skip a year. Okay,
Well, I'll look it up. Keep talking while I look it up.
and they probably haven't. I thought they had skipped 1 year on the Apple
So,
Watch.
so Bruce, what do you say about these Apple Watches? I know you're not on the Apple side of the fence yet.
He likes Rolex,
Well, I know he does, but
and his father's
but-
Timex watch in your pocket. You know, the one that you collect on a chain. You pass it down
yeah,
year after
yeah.
year.
So the Apple Watch average days between refreshes is 445.
Yeah, because
Longest it's gone is 518.
yeah.
So I was right.
So the original Apple Watch was released April 2015. The Series 2 September of 16, so a little over a year. Series 3, September 2017. So they've done one every year. There was a little bit of a gap.
You said
between-
average was 500 and what?
No.
400.
Average is 445.
Well, because that
That's-
gap between the first and the second generation was a lot longer, so that's why the average is.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So yeah, this is the fourth time
Well,
they've released one, fourth year, and this is the fourth watch.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know. That's neither here nor there. I'm just.
No, it's
I'm
right
just,
there.
Yeah, right. I'm just
Yeah.
throwing a guess out.
So,
By the way,
but Bruce, what are your thoughts about this Apple Watch, the new Series 4?
I mean,
I think it's excellent.
yeah. I mean, it's.
I mean,
So okay, we talked about this before the show that as far as wearables go, nobody makes a better wearable right now.
right? Yeah,
For a
I agree.
watch.
We didn't say that on air, but yes,
We're saying it now.
yes,
And I agree with that. I would say, I would say I would like to see if Google's going to come out with a Pixel Watch, what it's going to do. But yeah, right now, like, I'm not impressed by any Android Wear OS watch.
yeah.
Just is what it is.
So if you were a consumer of an Apple, if you had an
if I
you-
had an
if you-
iPhone, I would definitely get a Apple Watch.
and so what if you already had a Apple Watch? Would you buy a new one?
It depends, I guess, on which version I had. If I had the previous version, probably not.
Okay, but if you had an older one, maybe. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
I don't know, man. I mean, it just depends on how important that tech is to you
well, I will say
and
this.
how well it's working.
I'll say this. I like the new features, especially the fall detection ECG stuff. I mean, that's good for anybody of any age because it may save your life potentially.
Sure.
But as a current Series 1 owner, I just don't feel like I can justify spending the money.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Because you're talking for I would buy the 44 millimeter because I need the larger
So yours
size.
is a Generation 1, you said?
Yes. So the 44 millimeter would set me back $429 because I wouldn't buy the Sailor version. So that's basically $450 once you add tax. Now for maybe a family member, I got one in mind that I think would benefit from some of these features. Then that would be a good thing.
Do you feel like your watch is functioning just fine?
Yes. See, with me, and I may not be the typical consumer, but Apple has all these little apps.
Sure.
And developers can write these WatchKit apps and all that fun stuff, but I don't use the apps.
Yeah.
I
It's
use
mostly time, text, email.
sometimes I'll answer text on here, some of the pre-canned or a little scribble,
Yeah.
or I'll I have the watch face I have has my calendar, so I can see what my calendar is for the next couple
Yeah.
days. It has the weather. Sometimes I'll look at that.
Sure.
I'll look at the activity because I do monitor my activity with it. And then when I get a notification to my phone, it comes to my watch, and I look at it there.
I would say that would be the majority of minus the scribble part. I tried that back, I think, when I had the Moto 360, and I was just like, this
Okay.
is...
It works good on Apple. You need to try Apples.
This is from
Well, I
Tom's.
just would rather just talk if I'm going to do that.
This is from Tom's Guide.
Oh, Tom's Hardware.
Tom'sGuide.com. Exclusive on August 31st. This was a article. Google confirms no Pixel Watch this year.
Really?
That's what he says. He says that Miles Barr, Google's director of engineering for Wear OS, said Friday, which would have been
Oh, you know what? I do actually remember.
during an
I thought
interview
we covered this maybe.
No, I don't think we have. That Google has no plans to release smartwatch this year. To think of a one-size-fits-all watch, I don't think we're there yet, Barr said. Our focus is on our partners for now, meaning their support of their Wear OS.
Somebody's got to come in. I think at the time, the Moto 360 and the Moto 362, or whatever it was called.
I
I really liked that watch. Not happy with my Samsung. Haven't worn it in probably, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah.
It's a Samsung. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
I could not recommend it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so I do. I mean, if you have an iPhone, there'd be no reason to look anywhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree.
But if wearable technology is very keen, if it's on your radar, and you're an Android user, this may be what sways you over to the other side potentially.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if there's got to be a subset of consumers like that, but I think if by now, if you wanted a wearable, you would have a wearable, no matter what platform.
Yeah, maybe.
For the most part. I mean,
yeah,
this-
I mean, I think for masses, if you're looking at just numbers,
Yes,
large
yes.
numbers, then yeah, probably. I mean, you're going to get few, but
Yeah.
actually, I think though some of this medical side of this stuff,
The medical side-
there's probably going to pull some people in because my dad actually is
Yeah.
kind of fascinated by it.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the medical part of it too. I mean-
Anybody who has heart issues or has had any kind of heart surgery, anything
Oh,
like
absolutely.
that, this would be.
I mean,
now,
I'm not a medical professional, so I would consult your cardiologist or your doctor.
yes, absolutely.
But
But now,
this could be extremely beneficial.
Now, not everybody suffers from AFib either. So
True.
So that's another thing here. This may not help.
Yeah, so-
that part of that one product may
Yes.
not be a solution for you.
Yeah, consult your medical professional.
Right. And
I wish we had like a cardiologist we could.
and
talk to about
I
this,
think
but-
Apple would tell you that too. I'm
yes,
sure.
yes. It's not designed to replace
Professional
medical.
Right. It's for
advice.
diagnosis and those type things, early diagnosis.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like when the Apple Watch first came out, it's from day one detected like high heart rate.
correct, right.
And it would alert you if
That's
your heart
right.
rate got too high, and it did save people's lives.
And it has. There's been
Yes.
reports. Actually, we talked about it on the show here.
Yes.
One of the reports.
Yes.
It saved a person's life
Saved many
because of that.
people probably.
Yeah.
But
When the guy got to the hospital, the doctor said, had you not had that on, you'd die in your sleep.
Yeah. So, but I'm personally not going to upgrade right now. I'm going to keep what I've got. I'm very satisfied. Now, if this watch was to die, because I've had this for a couple
Yeah,
of years
right.
now, if it was to quit working, I would buy Series 4.
Now, is that a 2?
This is a 1.
Oh, that's a 1.
Yeah.
Well, see, that is the thing.
Welcome to the show, Michael.
I said that earlier.
I apologize. I missed that. That is the thing. I
Yeah, you
mean,
did.
it's continually getting updates, correct? I mean, it
Yeah,
has.
yeah, it's still taking the latest
Right.
Watch OS.
And I didn't think they mentioned anything.
I
that
think I think Watch OS 4 is going to support it too.
Yeah, I hadn't heard any that they were dropping the 1. I haven't heard that. I didn't.
Not
They
yet.
didn't mention it. They did. All right, so
So that's the Apple Watch.
right.
So that was that was the first thing they talked about. So the next part, you want me to take this too?
You go. We're just
Can I let's
Absolutely.
step back to the watches for a second.
Sure.
So, we were talking about I guess Wear OS,
Sure.
Android, and
Mhm.
I started thinking, I was like, all right, let me look and see, because it's been a while. Actually, apparently not long enough to have gone to the Wear OS site, because I was like, this is the exact same site I looked at probably 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So how much was the Apple Watch? Like I would say what I would probably get, the 44 or
It was
whatever.
like $429.
So $430.
Yeah,
That was the cheapest, or
Well,
that was the
429 is
that was-
without cellular.
yeah, and that
The
was
44 millimeter.
and that was the larger face. That is similar to this 42.
gotcha. So
I tried on a 38 millimeter, and it's too small for my arm.
So I don't really know much about the features of the watches I'm looking at, but I will say, like, I scrolled through and I was like, oh, Movado. I like Movado watches. Let me see how much one of those would cost with Wear OS. Start out at $595.
Okay.
So it's, granted they're a
The Fossil.
reputable
Yeah.
watchmaker.
Yeah.
They're not a reputable smartwatch maker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really a reputable smartwatch maker.
The
at this
Fossils
point,
start
except
out
for-
around $250. You can get one for a little less depending on which version you buy.
And that brings up a whole nother conversation. You have these reputable watch companies that have been around.
Yeah.
Fossil's one of them,
Yeah.
and all that. But how good are they at the technology side of smartwatches and these
Well,
wearables?
that is a problem.
That's the thing that kind of, because Apple's a technology company, so you
Because
expect the tech to be spot on.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it is aggravating. I mean, the latest Fossil watch, and I brought this up in the green room, which is not green, but anyway, the latest Fossil watch has the 2-year-old Intel chip, although
Yeah.
there is a brand new Intel chip coming out for smartwatches.
Well, I mean, this is a 3-year-old. This is like 3 generations back of technology for the Apple, whatever chip it's got in
It's
it.
ticking just fine.
And
Oh, yeah.
it'll still be good. I don't mean that,
Yeah.
but my point is, why bring something to the market if you're going to have an old chip in it. I
Yeah.
just don't get that.
I don't think
mean,
that's quite as important with a watch.
Yeah, but
I
Apple
disagree.
Well, I
But it's
disagree,
but it's the experience of the user using it, and if the software is not up to par,
sure. Okay,
that's going to be more detrimental.
fine. Did Apple bring a new chip to their?
Yes, they did.
Okay, I think they bring a new chip every time they bring a new device.
They do.
Well, I was going to say too.
That's just
you know,
technical
they-
currency.
If
but it's
also
new
were to
hardware.
bring the new chip, it's probably more power efficient,
It's possible.
and
Yeah,
that's a big deal with the watch.
right.
Yeah.
But going through the list that they have on their website, you know, they have watches from Michael Kors, Armani,
Yes.
Fossil, Diesel, Tommy Hilfiger.
these are all
Hugo
wearables?
Boss. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, these are watches that they have, and that's what I'm saying. Like they've got some of them are just reputable watch companies, others are just fashion companies.
Right.
And
Right.
and it's, I mean, I get kind of what they're doing there, but this goes back to the whole, you know, are all these getting whenever they update the Wear OS? Are they all getting the updates? Are you getting a
It's
unified experience?
Unlikely.
Yeah, highly unlikely. It's just like the whole Android mobile device. I mean, if you're not running pure Android, you're at the mercy of the device manufacturer, Samsung
Or-
and others.
Or even the carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or even
or
the carrier.
carrier. You're right.
So, you know, I hate to.
just buy an Apple Watch and you'll be good. I mean,
Well, I mean,
that's I mean, problem solved.
it is, you know, I don't know. It's just
We're gonna go to break. We got to cut early here, so
contemplate it
so
on
we'll
some
have
more.
some time in the back end. So
Yeah.
anyway, hey, Techie Show. Be right back.
Don't go anywhere. There's more in the queue lined up just for you.
An Alabama legacy moment.
Cheaha Mountain, often called Mount Cheaha, is the highest natural point in Alabama at 2,407 feet above sea level. It is located in north central Alabama in Cheaha State Park, surrounded by the Talladega National Forest in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. This dramatic landscape gets its name from the Creek Indian name for the mountain, Chaha, meaning high place.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this
When a
station.
child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. When a child expresses himself with colors, paint, and clay, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. A child on the playground is developing the skills of a future athlete. When a child is involved in dramatic play, she's learning the skills of a future doctor, nurse, and veterinarian. In Science Center investigations, a young child practices the skills of a future horticulturist, inventor, and archaeologist. During circle time sharing, the skills of a future teacher, lawyer, and journalist are being explored. A child reading a story in the library is honing the skills of a future librarian, teacher, researcher, and writer. Future stars are born in the classroom's music center. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things, and in the meantime, they discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information, go to children.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
In the late 1960s, NASCAR founder Bill France was hunting for a location for a new racetrack that would rival the
Shake and bake, baby. Woo, Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. I like that little commercial. That was good.
It is very funny.
Yeah, and speaking of, we talked about Florence earlier. Talladega Super Speedway is actually opened up
That
their
is correct.
campgrounds for evacuees.
They always do that.
Yeah. It's great folks down
But
there.
by the way, I heard this morning, speaking of that, no livestock. You can have animals, personal pet animal, no livestock.
No livestock.
They don't want the cows roaming out there.
Yes. No, don't bring no horses.
Plenty of cows to eat.
Or free range chicken.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about horses. People would probably.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could see.
Yeah. But I guess what I was saying that I was trying to articulate before we went to break was, Apple's got the experience down. They just lack the diversity.
Yes,
and
I agree.
It's which do you want? And I think at this point, I just want the experience. That's just, that's where I'm at. And I think that's the reason why I choose their pure Android phones. And I've got a story later on about Project Fi.
All right.
That we'll talk about we got plenty of time before our dose. I was thinking we were right up on it.
We got 15. We're not done with the Apple stuff yet.
Yeah,
we can go into the second hour.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
lots to discuss.
I think that's where I'm at. I get a good experience on their phone. But that's why I'm just Samsung with their Bixby and wanting you to sign up for their app store and just all that garbage. I'm done with it.
You're done. Put a fork in it.
Put a fork in it. So I could definitely. I mean, if you're on the fence, and a wearable is going to a decision on a wearable would make you choose between iOS and Android, I would say go ahead and do iOS.
What I've been saying for a long time.
Yeah, but you're going to have to go get a phone. If you don't
that
have
is,
a phone,
that's what I'm saying.
It's going to be a real investment.
Well, sure, absolutely.
But if you're willing to make that investment.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. Don't misunderstand.
I'm saying if you're on the fence, say if you're at the, you've got a 2-year-old.
I get it.
Paid for or whatever, and you're like,
understood.
I want
but you're going to have to be all in.
Yeah, you're going.
Oh yeah, you're
unless some of our listeners out there can recommend a great experience on a Wear OS watch. Samsung's really let me down with that watch.
Yeah, well,
bad taste in my mouth.
But they also released phones.
Yes, they did.
And
most of the rumors were true.
And even the naming.
Yeah,
actually news broke the day before and the day of about a particular naming scheme.
So we have 3 new phones: the iPhone XS, the XS Max, and the XR.
Yeah, XS.
Yeah,
XS and XS Max. NXS and NXS Max.
Yeah, they're gonna max out your credit card.
Yeah,
for sure. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So the iPhone XS, it's generally the same design as the iPhone X from last year. Edge to edge OLED display. No home button.
No home button. No touch ID.
We haven't got to that yet. We'll get to that in a minute. But they reduced the bezel some more. It has a notch. And the XS has a 5.8-inch display, which is a little bit larger than the iPhone X's display. They say the display size is similar to the display size of the iPhone 8 Plus. They kind of showed them side by side on screen.
Yeah, but it looked maybe a little.
Well, the screen display size.
I know what you're saying.
And the iPhone 8 Plus, remember,
right?
It's not edge to edge.
Correct.
Okay, and then if you wanted there's a larger option in the same design, the XS Max, 6.5-inch display. It's their largest iPhone display yet. Now, the actual form factor, you say large display, it's going to be a bigger phone. I don't want a bigger phone. It's about the same. The phone itself is about the same size as the 8 Plus.
Right. The overall dimensions.
Overall dimension of the device.
Right.
It's just think of that 8 Plus where the screen covers the whole face of the phone.
Right. And you're
about there.
And the way they've done that is edge to edge.
Yes.
No home button.
Correct.
And then they have a notch. And that's really the way they've been able to, and a smaller bezel, obviously.
Yes.
But that's how they were able to get that same form factor
right.
in that screen.
And then while we're talking about, we'll get to the 10R in a minute. We'll just talk about these two first. They have a new chip, as they always do. They're calling it the Bionic A12 chip.
That's right.
It's the industry's first 7 nanometer chip. That's 5 trillion operations per second.
Fathom.
6.9 billion transistors.
It's crazy.
Next gen neural engine, and new and improved Face ID.
How many computations?
5 trillion.
5 trillion
ops or operations per second.
Yeah,
I looked it up. 5 trillion. Now, my point is this: it's in a phone. We're not talking about a supercomputer, and I know supercomputers have a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, there's PCs that don't even come close to this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And i3.
Now, is that just the processor? Or is that paired with the GPU, or is that all?
I don't know. I mean,
well, now their A chip has I think it's 4 different processing systems in it.
It's a bundled system, and the GPU is part of that, I think.
Yeah, that is correct.
That's pretty impressive.
But they have improved the display some more. The display supports Dolby Vision and HDR10, which means you can watch 4K content on your phone.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
The 10S Max, that size screen, the larger screen,
right.
3 million pixels on that screen. 3 million pixels on a 6.5-inch display. That's just crazy. They've improved the glass. They call it the most durable glass ever in a smartphone, with improved scratch resistance.
Most beautiful ever.
It has IP68 water resistance, dust resistance. It's water resistant to 2 meters for 30 minutes.
That's right.
Stainless steel band and glass back. So it has a glass back which enables wireless charging. So there were some rumors about that going away, so that was wrong.
And Bruce, they also hold your thought.
Yeah,
Bruce, they also tested it in beer. I just want to let you know they threw that out there. They did a test in a lot of liquids. One of them was beer, and it survived the beer test.
Yeah,
it didn't get drunk, but anyway.
Yeah. So, but there was some rumors about the glass back going away. That was wrong.
Right.
So they haven't probably perfected the wireless charging with a metal back yet. So it's got a glass back like the 8 Plus, and 10.
Is there a single phone that has a metal back that does wireless charging?
Not yet.
I don't
that I'm
think
aware
so.
of. So the iPhone 10s has 30 minutes more battery life versus the iPhone 10.
How many?
30 minutes more. The 10s Max has an hour longer battery life compared to the iPhone 10. Larger form factor, they can fit more battery in it. Both these have new cameras. They're dual lens. They spend a lot of time talking about the camera.
You know, they always do.
Yeah. You know, they have a new technology called Smart HDR.
It's the best camera yet.
And here's this is one observation I had, because Phil Schiller was ever talking about all the technology.
Oh, Phil.
And he's like, we're going to show you some pictures. Now, these are untouched, undoctored. These came straight from the iPhone, 10s. And
Photoshop.
No. And he started showing them, but he made the comment that these didn't come from an expensive camera. And I said to Michael, I sent him a message. I said, this is what he just said. I said, yeah, Phil, that is an expensive camera. We'll get to that in a minute. But
well, let's back up for a second.
No, let me finish real quick.
Let's back up.
No, I want to give the process real quick, and then we can.
Well, I wanted to talk about the five teraflops that you said.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to put that in perspective for some people.
Yeah, please do, because I really couldn't, and I wanted it to be put in perspective.
So, depending upon if that's single point or multi-point processing, so the Alabama supercomputer, since we're in Alabama, lives up in Huntsville. Its current single point processing is 31 teraflops.
Okay.
So you got to think this is a computer that I'm trying to think how many racks it sits in, because
it don't matter. It's a large computer.
It would definitely fill up the room we're in.
Yeah.
Now that's just its processor. Now, if you do the GPU capacity, single point is 77 teraflops.
Yeah.
And multi-point is close to 30 teraflops. So, excuse me.
He's reading.
That's right.
Okay.
I was making sure there was a point there. So, single point GPU 77, double back down to 30. So its total capacity is 108 teraflops. I think that's a supercomputer.
Yes.
This phone is we'll take it from 108 down to 100 and just
Yeah.
say it's about 5%.
So the phone's 5% of this supercomputer.
Yeah, and you said it fits in the same footprint. So the same footprint right here.
Yeah, that's the max.
Yeah.
See, the 10S a little bit smaller form factor.
So I mean, pair 22 of those up together, and
if you can put them like in a cluster
just
or something.
Boom, yeah, of course. I mean, I'm sure there's some loss and stuff. Now the fastest in the world, USA gets to claim it again. Up in Oak Ridge, the IBM Summit. This is where we are at supercomputing at this point in our time.
Yeah.
Is currently 122 petaflops.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a petaflop is 1,000 teraflops. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm right on my scale there.
You are.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It's no well, I mean, I guess the Alabama supercomputer is government backed, but federal government backed.
Yeah.
That I mean, everybody in the U.S. uses stuff at Oak Ridge. But still, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And just think, when will it be that we're at 1 petaflop on a phone, and we say just pair up 100 of those, and you have.
Well, let's see how much 100 would cost. So let me move on here because we got like 5 minutes left in this hour.
Oh, man.
So we're up against a break here. So the colors: space gray, silver, gold, similar to last year's colors.
Mm-hmm.
There may have been a rose gold at one time. I can't remember when that got phased in or out. But space.
There's a black.
That's the space
gray.
That's space gray. This is space gray that I've got.
That's what they call black.
Space gray, silver, and gold. Storage capacity similar to last year: 64 gig, 256 gig, 512 gig. No 1 terabyte yet. That was a rumor. I think we covered maybe, but it didn't happen. So 512 is the maximum storage you can get with these iPhone XS's.
Mm-hmm.
So pricing. This is what I wanted to cover real quick, and I've still got to talk about the 10R. So if you want a 10S, the lowest price was 64 gigs, $1,000. So you're right there with the iPhone 10 last year.
1,000 or 1099?
$999.
$999.
And that's the starting price of the iPhone 10 from last year. It goes as much as $1,349 if you get 512. Now go to the 10S Max with the larger screen. Starts at $1,099, so $100 more than the base price of the 10S. If you want to max out the storage on that boy, $1,449
and 52 cents.
That's right.
Plus tax.
Plus tax.
So
and Apple Care.
So pre-orders start tomorrow, the 14th of September, and launch the next week on the 21st. Real quickly, the 10R is the lower cost option. Has a similar inside, like the same chip, the A12 and all that good stuff, but they replaced the OLED display with an LCD display. One thing I do need to mention, it is the edge-to-edge too with a notch, but it's an LCD, not an OLED. It has a single lens dual camera instead of the dual lens, so you lose all the fancy portrait stuff and all that, so you dumb down the camera. There's no 3D touch on the screen.
But the they go ahead.
It comes in 5 colors: blue, red, yellow, white, and black. And it starts at $749 for 64 gig, as much as $899 for 256. But here's the kicker. And this is what I want to make sure we give some credit where credit's due. All these new phones do not have Touch ID. The fingerprint reader's gone, the home button is gone, and Michael was right.
That's right. I was brave.
Yes, Michael, he was brave, yes.
Oh, man.
So brave.
Yes. So Michael was right on that.
Someday they'll figure out to put Touch ID on
I do want to
mention
that they did show where in that the 10R that there is that portrait mode, but it's done through software.
Okay. It's just not hardware.
That's correct. It doesn't have a hardware lens, 2 different ones making that happen, but they are taking software and allowing you to be able to do that.
Okay. I like the portrait mode in my 8 Plus. The existing iPhones that they typically discount, so if you're waiting, you don't want the latest and greatest, but you want a new iPhone, new in terms of new to you. The iPhone 7, it comes starting at $449 for 32 gig, $549 for 128. The 7 Plus, the larger screen, $569 and $669. And if you want an 8, the 64 gig model, the 8 is $599 now, and the 8 Plus, which is the one I have, 64 gig is now $699, and it was close to $800 a year ago. So if you're not wanting the latest and greatest, you can save some money and still have a fairly new iPhone because historically Apple supports these things for a long time. But one thing, and there's an article about this, and this may be some discussion later on because we're running out of time. The iPhone 10 has been discontinued, obviously, because basically this is kind of the next iteration.
Correct.
But the iPhone SE and iPhone 6 are gone.
Right.
So the smaller screen size of the SE, you can't get it anymore. I mean, you may find one here or there, but Apple is discontinuing that smaller screen size. And I know somebody, a friend of mine, that likes that small screen size.
Right.
That's going away. I mean, Apple's like, we're done. We're out of that.
Yeah.
Women, you need to get bigger pockets.
And the headphone jack.
Well, that's another thing. All the iPhones that they sell now do not have a 3.5 millimeter jack.
And
no USB-C. Can you believe it? They're so brave that they can't kill off the lightning connector.
Well, they've put so much money into that,
They're not giving you a dongle either.
Yeah, I mean, that's another issue we can discuss after in our dose.
Yeah, because there's the new iPhone 10s's and 10R.
Yes.
Do not have a 3.5 millimeter to lightning adapter. That will cost you another $9.
Comes in the box with
No
a pair of
dongle for
headsets
you.
that has a lightning
Yeah,
connector.
I've got some
for the
opinions
head.
on
Oh
that.
yeah, we'll
so
get into that.
we need to discuss that after this.
Absolutely.
After the break.
Still
here.
got some opinions.
I will say they
There's-
had pricing up.
Have two armpits
available when we started the show. Now we'll be right back.
Hey, Techie Show. Don't go anywhere. Our dose and our opinions are coming up.
You've listened this long, so stick around for Our Dose.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. Hurricane Florence is now battering the Carolina coast. The powerful Category 2 storm with winds of more than 100 miles an hour, bringing heavy rain, storm surge, and knocking out power to more than 80,000 customers. Member station WHQR, Vince Winkle has the latest from Wilmington, North Carolina.
High winds and rain started to hammer the city of Wilmington late in the day. This is only the beginning of what is expected to be 48 to 72 hours of heavy rain. Meteorologists forecast as much as 35 inches of rain could fall, breaking the record set during Hurricane Floyd in 1999. A record-breaking storm surge is also expected. The Eye of Florence is on track to reach the coast on Friday. For NPR News, I'm Vince Winkle in Wilmington, North Carolina.
In Massachusetts, 6 people are hospitalized after at least 39 fires and explosions north of Boston today, and those numbers are expected to go up. Police are also confirming dozens of natural gas odor investigations. The situation is prompting mass evacuations in the towns of Lawrence, Andover, and North Andover. Lawrence City Councilman Mark LaPlante had some advice for residents.
Be safe, be calm. They smell gas. Get out of there. If there's any kind of smoke, get out of there. And right now it's time to be cautious and also time to be calm. If we get panicky, things go out crazy.
Power is also being shut off in an effort to help prevent further fires and explosions. Massachusetts State Police say crews are working to depressurize gas lines in the area. The cluster of communities, some 26 miles north of Boston, is home to nearly 150,000 people.
Come on, church, there is a God.
Funeral services were held today near Dallas for Botham Jean, a 26-year-old black man killed in his apartment by an off-duty Dallas police officer. From Dallas, NPR's Wade Goodwin has the story.
The sanctuary at Greenville Avenue Church of Christ was filled with mourners, which included both the Dallas Police Chief, Renee Hall, and the city's mayor, Mike Rawlings. Botham Jean was a deeply religious man with a remarkable singing voice. His pastor, Sammy Berry, remembered the first time he met the young man.
And everybody was calling him Bo. So I said, Bo, man, I don't like nicknames, man. I said, hit me with your real name, bro. He said, Botham Shem Jean. I said, Bo, B.O., that's what it's going to be, bro.
Funeral services will also be held for Jean in St. Lucia, where he was born. Wade Goodwin, NPR News, Dallas.
Consumer prices were up slightly in August, though much of the increase in the government's main inflation gauge involved higher housing and fuel costs. Labor Department reporting today its consumer price index rose 0.2%. Stocks gained ground on Wall Street today. The Dow was up 147 points to 26,145. The Nasdaq rose 59 points. You're listening to NPR.
Technologic. Technologic.
Break it, fix it, crash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip and zip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it.
Greetings
from the
Great
Apple.
The Apple Show.
The
part
Apple
two.
Show Part Dos.
We don't have much more. We got opinions now.
Normally,
we got a little
the Hey
bit.
Techies show.
This is the topic of the week.
No, I mean, we got to do this a couple times a year.
yeah. Well, Bruce will get back
Bruce
to his
is
normal
suffering
stuff.
through.
Sure am.
In multiple ways.
Yes.
But I want to get Bruce's opinions here shortly. But real quick, the iOS
yes,
iOS 12.
Correct.
It will be available September 17th to the public. They've already released the Gold Master to developers and those that have signed up for the public beta. But it'll be launched to everybody else the 17th of September.
What kind of problems do you think we're going to have out of this one?
A lot. Just don't upgrade it.
You're going to be able to do your own emoji. Memoji.
Yeah, I'm not. My recommendation: don't upgrade it. Don't upgrade the 12.0.
Nah, go for
Surely they're not going to. This isn't going to happen 2 times in a row.
It probably will. We'll see.
Hey, I'm just hoping.
Fool me once.
I'm just telling you, this agile development method is not. It's not the silver bullet.
I'm just hoping that they did a good job on their circuit boards.
I hope so. Mac OS Mojave, the latest
correct
OS for their desktop and laptop line, September 24th launch.
That's good. They're going to fix a bunch of docs when they put that out.
We hope.
Well, they say they the company says they do. They are.
Okay.
Display Link says it's being fixed.
Okay. Well, good.
Oh man, I hope so. It's a pain.
You know.
But so real briefly about the iPhone, real quick, and then I'm gonna be quiet. I want Bruce's opinion. So there was a rumor about a larger power adapter coming with new iPhones. That was wrong. The same little 5-watt.
Yeah.
Little brick that you plug in the wall.
Change the cable. Why change the brick?
Yeah. So
brave.
But one thing these new 10s they spent some time on is I thought this was neat. It has a dual SIM capability where it'll have the hardware SIM and an eSIM. And basically you could have 2 phone numbers on your device, or if you'd have an international number and a domestic number, or if you're traveling internationally, you could get an eSIM but still keep your other SIM in there so you can still take calls with that other number. I think that's cool. Is there any Android devices that support dual SIM in that manner?
This one has for about a year now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was neat.
And I think this wasn't even the first one.
Yeah. So
my other phone has actual 2 physical SIMs that I can put in it.
Okay. Well.
I
digress.
Let's see what else.
Okay. So
welcome.
Here's one other thing too that this wasn't part of the keynote. I don't believe, but this was an article that Mac Rumors had that there's a new Apple Care Plus theft and loss protection plan that you can buy for the 10s and 10s Max for $299.
Of course.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry. I was
Apple Care Plus theft and loss plan, priced at $299 for the 10s and 10s Max.
Is your regular that not covered under your regular insurance?
Well, this is
because if you lose this, you're going to have to go get a loan.
Apple Care with theft and loss is what it's called. Priced at $299 or $14.99 per month over 24 months for the 10s and S Max. It allows for 2 incidents of accidental damage, theft, or loss coverage, so as long as the purchaser pays the deductible.
Yeah, that's what I was
that same
about.
coverage, the deductible, let's see, as with regular Apple Care, Apple will repair accidental damage for $99, but a lost or stolen phone will be more expensive. It'll cost $199 to get an iPhone 8, 7, 6S, or iPhone 6 replaced, and $229 to get an iPhone 10R, 8 Plus, 7
on top
Plus,
of the $299 you already paid.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but it gets better. Wait, there's more. I didn't mention 10s yet. Those were the iPhone 10R, 8 Plus, 7 Plus, 6S Plus, and 6 Plus. $229 deductible. To replace the 10s, 10s Max, or the 10, it'll be a $269 deductible if it's stolen.
Night.
That's on top of the protection plan. You about half the price of the device by then.
This is getting ridiculous.
It's a revenue.
Can I just not have a phone anymore?
It's a revenue stream for Apple.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I'd love to. I don't know if my wife would go for it.
Go ahead.
So, what's it, I want to ask. I got my opinions about the iPhone. You want to start, Michael or Bruce?
Let Michael start.
I mean,
well, I'm still stuck on the.
I'm moving this on. I just wanted to mention about that insurance.
No, I got it, but I'm still stuck
That's
on the.
Good to know. How does that? Did the previous insurance only cover accidental damage? Did it not cover lost and stolen phones?
Correct.
Really?
As far as I know,
It
covered you. It covered phones.
No,
they've never covered things like that. I mean, they've always.
You drop and crack your screen. You pay like $79 and they replace it.
Now they had an Apple Plus one time or something like that before, an Apple Care with some extra stuff that would cover some accidental damage, but that was a lot extra. I'm talking about from their Mac, their PC, their laptop lines.
Right.
But what if I had with the previous one, I was like, well, I ran over it with a bush hog.
Yeah.
And
bring the pieces in.
Yeah, bring the pieces.
Go find the pieces.
Yeah. We need the serial number.
You need to prove that to us. We need to see the leftover pieces.
That's right.
That came out of the bush hog.
We need that amazing camera that we developed.
Yeah. We'll salvage that piece.
We need that A12 chip.
No, but
we're going to need that A12 chip back.
But back to the
Bionic.
Just to the announcement of these devices. What say y'all?
Well, I think they're wonderful if you're in this arena and you can afford to do it. And but I mean, I'm still stuck on how many teraflops.
Yeah,
I say that's impressive.
It's fascinating.
So it means you're gonna buy one. Okay.
No, it's not.
Well, you're amazed by it.
Can't afford one.
But last year, when we were like, wow.
Yeah, I know.
$1,000 phone.
I know, and
a
I
few
still am
weeks
that.
ago we said, well, $1,000 phone's the new normal, and now we're already at $1,500 for a phone.
I agree.
Well,
top end.
If you wanted the top
end, sure, but that's how much was the top end 10?
I can't remember. I don't have.
It was in the neighborhood.
It was like
really?
maybe.
I think everybody was shocked with the $1,000.
Yeah,
Nobody was looking at the top end.
I think it was around 1,200.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was
but
too.
Still, it's probably another 2 or 3 years, and we're at $2,000 for a phone.
You're probably right there. To me, there's some sticker shock on these prices.
But now, most of the sticker shock, from my understanding, and this is where this is
going to be what the market can bear.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is the OLED screens. That's where a lot of the money comes in at,
right?
Because the previous ones didn't have OLED screens.
Well, the 10
did.
But like when I was deciding, and I talked about this on the show last year.
Right.
I was not a fan of the Face ID.
Yes, I know.
Still not a fan of it. We've talked about that. But I didn't really care. I didn't have to have the OLED display.
Yeah, I get it.
I liked the dual lens camera. That was a feature, and the 8 Plus had that.
Right.
And it had the same insides, same processor, and all that.
Correct.
So I went with the 8 Plus and saved some money.
Yeah, that's true. And but my finishing point here is, what will be the next screen? We don't know. We can assume it could be the QLED.
But the 10R, if you don't want to pay for the OLED, you can get the LCD display.
Correct.
You get all the same features, but you don't get the dual lens camera. And granted, like the portrait mode, there's some software, but it's still not the same.
Well, they said it was real close. They were just so impressed.
It was
beautiful.
I'd want to take them for a test drive.
It wasn't taken by a real expensive camera either. So,
yeah.
But
anyway, that's just it is what it is at this point. Like, it's the new norm.
I mean, it's a great question. I mean, and of course, we've been banging around for more than a year now. $1,000 phone. Of course, some of those notes were getting close.
Oh, I know what question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
So I guess their top end one was 512 gig.
Yes.
Yes.
Do I really need all that space? What am I?
It just depends.
Like the biggest thing used to be photos, but Google. I mean, I know you can say, well, if you're a person that doesn't want to back it up, blah blah. Google's done a pretty good job of taking care of that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have.
Hey, free unlimited storage of your photos. We can talk about how there's no guarantee that they'll always be there, but that would be bad, more than just a bad PR day for Google.
Right.
I think people at that point would be ready with their pitchforks.
Oh, yeah, they sure would. I mean, I think pitchforks
and I'll
would
say
be a
this,
mute point.
Personally, the 64 gig for me
would be sufficient.
Is sufficient. Like that's what this phone is. I didn't pay extra for the larger storage.
I think I have 128.
And right now I
think I have 128 on mine.
I don't know.
I'm using 45 of my 64 gigs. Now I have a lot of apps, and I have a good bit of media, but other is a large percentage too. And if you go into like your settings in iOS, you can find ways to save storage. And one thing, if I auto-deleted my old conversations, I could free up 10 gigabytes because it would automatically remove messages and attachments that were sent or received over a year ago. And there's other ways you can offload apps you don't use often. But, I'm not in any danger. And I've got a lot of music on this thing. So I could always remove a couple playlists and get some space.
Yeah, I'm at 20% of my space. I've used 20%.
Yeah. So I think for the average I think the average consumer can get by with a 64 gig.
What do you have, 64 or 128?
128.
I have 64.
Yeah. And my phone, right now, the biggest, other apps are the biggest, but the biggest single one would be the photos and videos. 3.4 gig.
Mine's the system.
Well, yeah. System. Well, no. Yeah. Well, mine is other apps. There's 13.
Yeah, mine's other apps. I have 17 gigs.
Yeah. So I'm just talking about a single app, which is the photos and videos.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty large.
Oh, I forget I have a lot
but other people have a lot larger. I mean, there's people that's hundreds of gigs I've heard.
But real quick here, I know we're up against another break here, and then this will kind of tie a bow in the Apple event, at least from my perspective. So Tim Cook was interviewed, I guess yesterday, by Nikkei Today.
Sure.
But
it was yesterday.
I think it was yesterday. This article's from Mac Rumors that was put out today.
Oh.
This has been after the event, and he was quoted as saying that he was commenting on the price range in an interview with Nikkei Today. Apple CEO Tim Cook said, quote, "We want to serve everyone," end quote. We want to serve everyone, he said. We understand that there is a wide range of customers that are looking for and a wide range of prices that people will pay. And
in order to reach those consumers, we're now offering Apple Pay or Apple Finance. 24 months at 0%.
Apple Finance.
Well, they do that with the upgrade program. I mean, you're financing the phone for 24 months.
At 0% interest. So everyone will be able to afford this phone.
Likewise, this article goes on to say, likewise, the iPhone XS Max represents Apple's biggest iPhone yet and serves the customers who enjoyed the feature of the 2017 iPhone 10 but wished it came in a larger size. And
I agree with that.
This is Tim Cook's quote after that. "We always thought that if you could provide a lot of information and a lot of value, there is a segment of people who are willing to pay for it. For us, it is a large enough group of people that we can make a reasonable business out of it. And there are a group of people that will pay. They'll pay this premium price because they can.
We always thought
and they'll drop $1,500 on the 512 gig 10s Max because they can. They'll use like 1% of the storage.
We always thought we'll come out with this product that just isn't right, but we'll fix it next year, and then everybody will pay for that one, and that one will have a few things that just aren't right."
And we'll
come out of that next year.
And then he was quoted also just discussing the iPhone in general. Cook said that, quote, the role of the iPhone has become much larger in people's lives.
Apple be brave. Go a year.
And because of that, the article goes on to say that justifies the price of these devices and what customers are willing to pay. And I have to agree with that statement. These have become so much a part of our lives, these smart devices.
Yeah. For better or worse.
For better or
worse.
Right,
for better or for worse. But It is what it is.
Mostly worse.
And they've got us hooked.
Till it.
And I don't care if you're Apple, if you're an Android fan, if you're a Windows Phone fan or whatever, they've got us hooked.
I'm for whatever works fan, and I can afford.
Yeah, well, I'm with like that too, but I like a good experience.
I'm for if I could get away without having one.
And I will say this, in a matter of disclosure, I used to own an Android phone.
And he loved it.
I hated it.
He loved it.
Could not stand it.
Second.
I went from
He owned the wrong one.
He did.
In terms of mobile devices, I used to
was
years
probably
ago.
3 years old when he bought
remember PowerTel?
Yes.
Had a PowerTel
Well,
phone.
I mean, we're talking
Who?
PowerTel.
Who?
PowerTel.
Who?
We're talking about ancient times.
Yeah, who? That was back like in the late '90s.
Yeah, we're not.
But I think I had AT&T or Singular at the time.
Oh yeah.
I had a stint. I was on Nextel. Remember Nextel?
Oh yes.
All my family's on Nextel, so I had a Nextel phone. Then I went from Nextel, I think, back to Singular because of where I was working in
I miss Singular.
reception.
And
but
then in 07.
But then I didn't go. I was not the first.
08.
No.
Oh, 09.
I did not buy the iPhone when it first came out.
He waited till he got the
I waited. You remember how the price dropped? When the price dropped, I bought it.
Yeah. Well, that's always a good time.
Yeah, I didn't have the money to drop like all that money on that original iPhone, but when the price dropped, I bought it.
Yeah.
And I had iPhone for a while, and I even had it. I think I bought a 3G, iPhone 3G.
Still
Remember
got
that?
it.
Do I still have it? I don't know. But there was I got dissatisfied with the service that AT&T was providing, so I switched to Android and switched providers. And I could not stand Android. And the moment they had a Verizon iPhone, I switched right back to iPhone.
Yeah, well, you use what you
What
want.
Android phone did you have?
I had a Moto Droid.
Who?
Hey.
But that was back in the days you had like 3 choices of Android phones.
I will say Android's come a long
It has.
way.
But I'm very satisfied with my iPhone, and I have no desire to switch back. No desire.
Well, we're going to have to switch to a break. And
Thank
when we come
goodness.
back,
we'll resume Hey Techies without all this Apple banter.
no. Well, we'll
Maybe.
have a little bit of everything.
We'll see.
Hey, Techie Show. Be right back.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The Little River Canyon National Preserve, located in Cherokee County, was created in 1992 by an act of the U.S. Congress and was dedicated as a unit of the National Park Service. The area's focal point is the Little River, which flows along Lookout Mountain and is an outdoor recreation destination. Small waterfalls, sandstone bluffs, trails, creeks, and streams draw visitors to the area.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Alabama legacy moment.
Birmingham native Erskine Hawkins was a prominent African-American trumpeter, bandleader, and composer during the big band era of the 1930s and 40s. His Erskine Hawkins Orchestra was a popular dance band in New York City, and with it he recorded the hit Tuxedo Junction, about a streetcar intersection on the Ensley-Fairfield line that was a center of nightlife for African Americans. Hawkins is a member of the Alabama Music and the Alabama Jazz Halls of Fame.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and the
Another time.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
That's right.
We're ready to start now.
Yeah,
we're having website issues.
Yeah, we'll have to deal with that later.
Yeah.
So the notes, if you listen to us and follow the notes, we won't have that right now like we normally do.
Yeah,
But
we're working on it.
something happened between last week and this week. I don't know what it was, but anyway,
One last thing about the phones. I will say they're nice.
they are. They're very
They've done a
very
great
elegant.
job. Yes.
They're
It's going to be a whole lot better than the Pixel 3. I'll say that.
oh come on.
I'm not excited about it. Not one bit. Not whatsoever.
Yeah, you've said that a bunch.
I have said it since the beginning.
And actually, I have, and I don't. Let's see. Do I have the article in front of me? I don't have it in front of me.
Well, while you're doing that, we got some breaking news.
Good grief! What's happened now?
So this tweet just came out like while we were during the first hour. It's from SpaceX.
Oh.
This was 7:30, so 30 minutes ago. Well, more like an hour ago now. But SpaceX has signed the world's first private passenger to fly around the moon aboard their BFR launch vehicle.
Fly around the moon?
Yes.
They're going to Apollo 13 it?
Yes. Or Apollo, I think 8 did laps around the moon. But they say this is in their tweet goes on to say this is an important step towards enabling access for everyday people who dream of traveling to space. Find out who's flying and why on Monday, September 17th.
Yes, everyday people. I'm
It's
just
an important
everyday
step.
person.
It's an important step towards that.
Flying around the moon.
And they broke the news on Twitter as they're just like their founder Musk loves to do.
Sailors on the moon.
I'm going private with.
No, he's anything but private. That's the
Well,
problem.
no, he's gonna take.
I think that's his
I'm
problem.
thinking about
of late.
taking. No, not him being private, but when he said he's going to take Tesla.
No, I know
private.
what you're saying.
I'll say this too. He is a very introverted person, and to be in the limelight like that and no, he really is introverted.
Yeah, I could tell the other day when he was in Helling. He was very introverted.
Yeah, they've already got their. They put out another.
Getting away from it all.
They put out another tweet right after that. About 20 minutes later, said only 24 humans have been to the moon in history. No one has visited since the last Apollo mission of 1972. And there's a link to SpaceX.com. Yeah, there's a link to SpaceX.com/webcast, which they've already got their little streaming thing set up for live in 3 days. First private passenger on lunar BFR mission.
Who you think it's going to be?
Not me, probably, unless they call me after the show.
So, guess what? You've been selected. Well, what's your guess, Mikey?
My guess about what? I'm sorry.
Who's going to go?
The people who pay the most money.
Tom Hanks.
You think it's going to be a celebrity?
Probably not.
Tom Hanks is not going on that.
Well, in Apollo 13, you get to go on the moon.
Oh, give
so
it
this is
a
his chance to
rest.
go now. Just kidding.
Are they actually going to land, or are they just flying around it?
It didn't say. But it's kind of alluding to they may land because it's talking about the only 24 humans in history have been to the moon.
Well, I mean, if you passed it, you would have been to it.
I guess. I don't know. That's all.
Right?
I've read the tweets. That's all we have. That's all we have.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be disliked, but I'll say it anyway.
Okay.
Boo.
Let me.
I'm just kidding.
Let me ask you a question. Well, let me put it this way. Do you think it's about cost that only 24 have been to the moon? Or do you think it's about how tough it is to get there and be there and survive that trip, that it takes a long time to train? Everybody would not have the fortitude to leave this planet and survive a trip around the moon.
So yes and no.
Okay.
Because I would say the biggest thing would be technology that fills in that gap, because the person that is paying to go is not going to be flying. If they lose touch with ground control, they're not going to be flying.
Correct.
They don't have to do any calculations.
Totally agree with that.
They don't have to do any engineering.
Okay.
They don't have to do any repairs.
The G forces alone. Listen to me.
Sure.
The G forces alone would stop many people from being able to go just to lift off the planet.
Well, maybe they're gonna put them to sleep.
No. I'm talking about a lot of things like your heart and your health, and
sure,
you wouldn't survive it.
I'm sure. I think.
No.
I think everybody in this room would.
I don't know that I would. I have no proof of that.
I do.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Uh-huh.
Do you know that certain heights cannot leave and go, their body will not pump the blood?
Yes.
It is a well-known fact.
Right on the edge of that.
That they cut the height. If you're a certain height, you can't be an astronaut.
They cut you off?
You can't train. No, there's just no reason to spend the money on someone who they believe wouldn't be a candidate to go.
I'm on the edge of that. And the reason why I know that is because I applied to be an astronaut.
Well, I knew that already. You applied for almost everything. And I don't blame you. Yes, you have.
Not for everything.
Almost.
That was just a really
I think we can agree that we love Frank
opportunity.
Sinatra.
Oh, yeah, man.
Fly me to the moon, baby.
By the way, that is, if you're on the video, that's what's playing. And,
well,
and you know,
I cut it off on the video.
I'm never going to be able to use this on the podcast.
Uh-oh.
I'm about to cut all this out.
No, you know what?
Yes, I am.
No.
Yes, you can't put that long in the podcast.
Sure you can.
You can't.
Hey.
You can't do it.
I just said you
shouldn't.
I just said you could.
5 seconds. It's about the limit.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
It's totally fine.
No one will know. Where are the crickets?
There you go.
I don't know if I have a really good guess on who it would be. Richard Branson comes to mind, but then I don't think
why
he'd
would
risk it.
Musk want to send him up?
I think he would want Musk to send him up, but I don't know.
Hey, Musk, send me up.
He's very eccentric. I don't know.
I got a list.
I think it's going to be somebody semi-famous, but not a celebrity.
No.
Semi-famous.
I can't tell you the ones I'd want to go up.
No.
Oh, yes, I have a long list.
I'm not saying ones that you want to send.
No.
Send your complaints to Michael.
See,
at HeyTechiesShow.com.
I want him to go on the initial voyage
and start the outpost.
Yeah, start that outpost.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just, it's my opinion.
I
know I'm a Debbie Downer on this one, but I believe that we are a long ways away from the realization of any Joe Schmo, no offense, and I'm a Joe Schmo, going to the moon.
Not in our
on
life.
Any
Probably
given,
not in our lifetime.
In any given day.
You say any Joe Schmo, it's going to be funny if it's Joe Rogan.
Please send them.
Hey, man.
Send them. Send them. You probably could name 100 people. I'd say send them.
Yeah.
Kanye?
I don't think he deserves to go.
I knew that was coming. I was waiting.
This is more of a place of honor.
Oh, give it a rest. Kanye. Well, anyway, but thank you, Guru, for bringing that to
I want to make sure that
our attention.
Yeah, we're watching the.
On a side note.
Yeah, on a side note.
Did you know that Microsoft is going to warn users if you try to install Chrome or Firefox that's not as secure a browser?
Yeah. Why do you want to install something else? You already have
every
Edge.
help desk person's nightmare, because there are some things that just don't work right in IE/Edge. I'm sorry.
You want to know what the most popular search for on Bing was?
Chrome.
Google. Yeah, Chrome.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt.
Yeah, because they're like, I need to get the Chrome installed.
We got to cover this real
Edge,
quick
the
because
best
I've got
browser
to
to
because I
install
got to get your
Chrome.
opinion on this.
Okay.
Because time and time we discuss Chrome OS, and we've had discussions
Right.
about Chromebooks and whether. What do you think about this, Bruce? I mean, I do think this is a step in the correct direction for Chrome.
Okay.
Samba support in the next version of Chrome OS.
Really?
Yes, so you can access shared drives and network drives.
Well, that's a good step. I mean, that really, especially for in a business,
Because they don't have that right now. I'm not talking, I'm talking about natively.
but you can't connect to domain though.
Yeah, well, you won't have to. You could.
I guess you can authenticate to the share.
Yeah, you could authenticate with the share.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't have to be on the domain. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm surprised that wasn't already a thing.
No, it's not.
That helps. That helps in the enterprise for sure.
Well, I'm not saying it's there yet. I'm just
I'm
saying,
but
it's
that's good. I think that's good.
I think it's very interesting.
Oh,
well, I think they've realized everybody don't put their stuff in Google.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you know this? Because I know this is going to be something I should know, and you're saying a techie should know. Do you know that Chrome OS can only be actually installed correctly or downloaded and installed? It comes with a Chromebook, a Google Chromebook. You can't go out and just no, you can't. You can't download it.
Well, duh.
Hold on, let me finish. It's not like a Linux version where you could download it and install it on a VM. You can't do that.
I swear I've done that with Chromium.
No, not Chromium. I'm talking about
Just
Chrome,
the full Chrome OS.
full Chrome OS.
Okay.
If you wanted to if you want to play with the king, Chrome
Yes,
OS, you
gotcha.
can't do that. Now, there's others that have simulated it, and it's very difficult to do. I've tried to fool with
It's
it.
just like Mac OS. I mean,
I understand that.
You can't, without a lot of work, get it to run on a VM.
But Google is more open to those kinds of things
Well, but
in general, because, I mean, look at their Android device.
But they're locking that down. They want it on certain hardware.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is interesting.
But speaking of the Google,
okay,
and I had said I was going to have a story about my Project Fi service.
Yes, you are.
So we're going to step back on phones for a minute, kinda.
Oh, that's fine.
So
sure.
For some reason, I decided to check my bill because I mean it's just auto pay, the same
This
thing.
is
every
Project
month.
Fi,
Yeah,
correct?
Project Fi.
Okay.
And I went back and looked, and I noticed that I have my current phone, and then remember I got a trade-in
Right.
on my previous.
Yeah.
And I noticed that it still had insurance on it. And
On the one you traded in.
Yeah.
So you're still paying
$5 a month.
And how long has it been since you traded it in?
I guess it's been. That's a really good question. They gave me and this is the thing. I just went through my Fi app, sent an email because I was like, I don't want to call, don't want to chat. This isn't something that's urgent. So I just sent them an email, said, hey, I noticed this. I traded this phone in. I don't understand why why that was even an option.
You would assume that they would have dropped that when
that's what makes sense. I no longer own the phone. Why would I?
I mean, if you were on Big Red, you would understand why it was never dropped. But you're on
Oh,
Fi.
absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. So, and if I was on Fi or if I was on Red or Blue,
Yeah.
I would totally be like, well, let's see how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I just stated in an email, I noticed this, I would like credit back for the months that I didn't own the phone. And I would like that canceled on that phone.
Yeah.
Got an email, which it may have been within hours. I don't know. I was like, oh, yeah, I probably need to check my email and see if I got a response back. And they were like, hey, we see what you're talking about. Here's a credit for $55.
Oh, wow.
Canceling the insurance can only be done on your side. You can do this by going to the app and clicking these things, doing that. And you should see the credit under, under these options.
Huh.
And sure enough, went into the app, showed already had $55 credit.
Whoa.
And I mean, they were just spot on, man. Like, no.
Pizza.
I actually responded because, they'll say, did we resolve your problem? Did we fix it the first time? They'll ask you stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, that leaves a little comment box. And I literally put no fuss, no muss, whatever that means. I was like, but, this is why I love Project Fi. It was simple. There was no argument. There was no, well, this it falls on you to have done that we shouldn't be,
They took care of the situation.
They're like, yeah,
and they have a happy customer.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that's how customer service should be.
It was very good customer service.
And some of these companies
And
that
it wasn't
have
a
trouble
hassle.
need to take a page
It was
from this.
not a hassle at all. I just sent an
And that's how it
email.
should be. I
Yeah.
mean, we've said that on the show before. Like, customer service, that's a dying art in this world, I think, but especially in this country. And it just really bothers me.
Yeah, they were just happy.
Because I
to
used
help.
to work in a industry where customer service, you were in the public all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I think all of us, no matter what our occupations are, we serve a customer
Exactly,
of some
that's what I
sort,
was about to say.
whether directly or indirectly.
Yep. But yeah, so I wanted to share that.
And us being on the customer end, we hey, if you're nice to folks, just hey, would you be willing to do this? Can you help me here?
Yeah.
And they said, sure, we'll be glad to do this.
And I'll say, you know, that's one thing. And I'll be honest with you, probably within the next year, unless something drastically changes on Fi, I probably won't be a Fi customer anymore. Because it's getting to the point where what's the advantage? You know, before the advantage was, you know, the way everybody's pricing model worked. I was like, well, it's just kind of a little bit better. It was a better pricing model than what everybody had because everybody was charging you per gig anyway. And their base service was cheaper.
Right.
But now everybody's kind of, you know, tailored that back. Still don't understand how there's 4 different unlimited plans.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous. We talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
How many times?
I don't get that.
I don't get the word unlimited.
Yeah, apparently.
But anyway,
it does Verizon.
We need to see what it looks in the dictionary. It means something else.
Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yes.
And you know, and we'll talk about what rent and buy means here in a minute. But you know, I just don't. You know, the service. I mean, basically, they're just reselling other people. Like, there's no clear advantage other than what just happened. You know, with that, that's the advantage I have. And I will say, God, I freaking hate AT&T, but you know, with their service, you get their whatever DirecTV app or whatever their, you know, you get media with it as part of your service. You know, TV on the go or whatever. And I'm like, man, that's a pretty good advantage.
Yeah. I don't want to go to the blue side.
I don't want to go to blue or red. But, you know,
purple. Let's do purple.
He wants to stay Fi.
T-Mobile's pink, and Sprint's yellow.
Yeah. Yellow, pink,
I guess
red,
Fi's green.
Yeah,
I
green.
don't know.
Yeah, Fi's green.
Yeah.
I don't know. At some point, you know,
he's gone green.
Going green.
No, he's gone green.
No,
please, no.
As soon as you said that, I was like, man.
Please, no. That's on another show.
Well, all credit where credit's due.
You have to give him credit that he has not played that in a really long time.
I have not. So
that
knows how much I hate.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. I think I'll play it again.
Oh, that was Mikey.
We're going green. We're going green.
If you're not watching the YouTube video right now, you totally should be. Mikey hates that so much, all because of one time. Every chance he got, he played it. Yeah. So, but we'll talk about what buy and rent means coming up soon, and Apple's not really the only culprit there. It's happened in the past, so stay tuned.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Harper Lee is best known as the author of one of the most affecting and widely read books of American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird. The native Alabamian drew deeply from her coming-of-age years in her small hometown of Monroeville. The film version of To Kill a Mockingbird underscored the success of the novel with its own success.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Get a head start on your career while earning money to pay for college. Log on to NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
An Alabama legacy moment.
Ruby Pickens Tart was one of the foremost chroniclers of folklore, folk music, and narratives of African Americans in rural Alabama. She helped to fill the manuscript and music collections of the Library of Congress and the Federal Writers Project. Ruby Pickens Tart continues to affect
Welcome back into the Hey Techies show. So glad to have everyone here with us tonight, and hope you're having a fabulous evening. We're enjoying our evening.
Absolutely.
And I love talking about this kind of stuff, tech and other things we cover.
And before the break, we were discussing definitions. Super interesting. You're just joining us.
We were discussing the what
definitions.
Now? Yes, definitions.
We got to go back on Apple for a minute. And, this isn't – they're not the first company that has done this, to be honest. But apparently buying a movie through iTunes doesn't mean you actually own it and that they can remove it at any point.
It's a license to watch.
Yeah. But you don't click that when you buy it. You click buy, not license to watch.
That's true.
Which, Amazon, they kind of came to the news a few years past when A Christmas Story was pulled off during Christmas time.
Yes, I remember that.
But, I guess some of Apple's negotiating people were not very good.
That's quite loud.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
It was quite loud.
Sorry, folks.
So apparently some movies are being removed. But you think if this was really you would see it across the board, whether it be through Google or Amazon or whomever.
Right.
But I have bought some things through Google's Play Store as far as movies go, and you can bet if they ever removed any of them, I would say you're refunding me because I clicked buy, not license to watch.
Yeah, and I think with
or even license if they said license.
But I think with Apple,
license.
I may be going on a limb here, but I think if that was to happen with Apple, if you push the issue, they would.
Well, so far people are saying they're not refunding.
Really. I say if it's been recent.
Push it.
If it's been recent,
push it real good.
If you purchased it recently, then I'll dispute the charge with a credit card company.
You think at some point that it will all be subscription based? You want to really buy a movie digitally?
It's
leaning that way.
Disney will own everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Pay Disney your $50 a month.
Right.
Hulu. Or whatever tier, so you can access the stuff in the vault.
The Hulu Disney app.
Yeah. Who knows, man?
I just still when you have there's too many people putting their but there's too many providers putting their hand out wanting you to subscribe to their service.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that adds up. I mean, you do this much for Netflix. Like I have I think a $12 Netflix plan. And then you have Hulu's, and then you have whatever this.
Oh yeah,
and
we talked.
And Apple Music,
ESPN
Spotify,
Plus,
and ESPN.
Plus, everybody wants
extra
$5 and $9.99.
And CBS All Access is another one. I mean, before long, you're dropping a bunch of money on these
$800
services
a month in subscriptions.
And then you've got
I'm taking it to the man.
And then to use these services, either you're having to have your broadband at home. Or on your mobile device, that broadband, you're having to pay for that. And more than likely, you still have some sort of a cable or satellite subscription on top of that. Plus, you're paying for these $1,200 iPhones.
$1,500. Soon to be $2,000.
That is going to be weird if it is.
Well, it's coming.
I think it is, but it's probably going to be a couple of years before they can do it too. I mean, because they have.
I think
it's going to be probably three to 4 years.
Within 5 years.
Yeah, within 5 years.
Absolutely.
$2,000
within 5 years.
Phone.
Easily. Unless there's a huge cost reduction.
And I didn't get to mention this, but I read the latest Note. Well, I'm not a Samsung Note fan, but they're going to be able to support a terabyte through the actual
micro SD card. Yeah,
up to a terabyte of storage.
Apple could do that today.
No, it's never going to happen.
They would just
never
going to
happen.
No. But we talked about Apple not including the dongle.
Right.
Yes. If you want a dongle, you're gonna pay another $10. But here's the thing: you brought this up, Michael.
I did.
So I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna steal
You're stealing my thunder.
And Michael said this. Me and Michael enjoyed dinner this evening between working the show and
never get invited.
We figured you were not back in town
yet. Get for figuring.
Sorry, Bruce.
Actually, let's set the record straight. I had a drink.
Well, that's still,
and I appreciate.
But I treated you to a drink, and I would have bought your dinner, but you didn't want anything.
No, I wasn't hungry
because you had a Chick-fil-A milkshake
strawberry
earlier.
daiquiri.
No, actually, my wife, the lovely Frances, has got a roast at home that's been cooking all day. So it is big.
okay.
But anyway,
I completely understand. You don't want to ruin your supper.
Yeah, well, continue.
Okay,
because
so-
I think this is a fabulous point, and it was my
These
point.
new iPhones don't come with the
Yes, it
dongle
is.
to convert from the Lightning to 3.5 millimeter.
Yep.
But the headphones that come in this is also the true with the 8.
Yes.
And I think the 7 too is the earbuds that come with the iPhone. The connectors always when they started coming when they got rid of the 3.5 millimeter.
Right.
The earbud jack was Lightning.
Yes.
So
They had a surplus. They were like, we can't change that yet.
Yeah.
But it's
Let's
like
throw those in
That
there.
wasn't my point.
I mean, but the thing is, Apple, just throw out the headphones and just give me the little adapter.
Now, see,
because
here's-
most
some
people
love
I
those
thought you were going to
headphones.
cover my other point.
But go ahead.
My other point is the telemetry. See, I think they have telemetry, and I know that's not a great word for this. It's more like data, and it's
It is telemetry.
It's anonymized of how many Bluetooth per device
Oh,
headsets
yeah.
they use, how many
Absolutely.
plug it in. Well, I'm sure there's a way to figure out with electrical passes and all that things.
There he is.
How
Oh,
many use the regular headphones? How many are using our beautiful Lightning plug headphones?
How
And-
many are using the tampons?
Yeah, right. Now listen.
Oh my goodness.
Now listen, seriously.
The earpawns.
I really think that is probably an amount of data that they have used to figure out, we cannot include that dongle. Because here's the thing. We found that X number of people use it and bunches don't use what we have. So why include it? We'll just sell it to the ones that desperately want it.
Leave it out. That's more margin.
Right.
Sell it to the people that
Correct.
do need
And
it. More
the other
margin.
people are not.
Yeah.
Plus, they would consider it waste if they sent it out with everybody and only a small. No, I'm serious. A small.
And they're going green.
Well, look.
We're going green. We're going green.
I'm going home.
Thanks, Bruce. Thank you.
I mean,
3
I'm
times.
closing this laptop and closing that laptop, and I'm leaving.
Oh man, how to get that one in?
Yeah,
But-
cutting the last 10 minutes of the video off.
No.
I'm taking my white wagon and going home.
No, but I'm sorry. Like I feel like I'm discriminated against because those Apple earbuds do not fit in my ears correctly.
I don't know. I've never
And I would
tried
much
them.
rather have my own earbuds and have the adapter.
Well, I realize that, but I'm telling you.
That's how you go green.
We're going green. We're going green.
I'm pushing my luck with Michael right now.
Yeah, you are.
We're gonna take care of the earth. We're going green.
But I would like to try some of those
a little
Bluetooth
jingle.
earbuds if I got a pair decent that were comfortable and good. But
See, I like Bluetooth over the ear.
well, when you go like exercise, and I don't want these big,
Well, no, I
headphones
know.
on my head.
No,
while
I
I
know.
agree with you on that one.
I'm,
Yeah, I think you can't own just one set of. There's no,
No.
like one universal pair. of
You
headsets.
can own one set
I mean,
of
you
headphones
can.
if you're broke and you
Y-
can't
yeah,
afford to buy
no, you
another set.
absolutely
Trust me,
can.
I can own one set. I promise you, I know how.
Well, let me change. Can we change the subject real quick? I know we
Sure.
got about just a few minutes left. So this is something I wanted to bring up. So a couple years ago, Amazon bought Whole Foods, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they bought the whole enchilada.
Yeah, the whole enchilada of Whole Foods. So there's a group of
And the
there's a
lettuce.
group of workers at Whole Foods that are leading the effort to establish
Oh,
a
yeah, I saw
union
this.
for the Amazon-owned company's 85,000 plus workforce.
Yeah.
In a letter addressed to Whole Foods employees, the group, which are members of Whole Foods cross-regional committee, wrote that they are concerned about the direction of Whole Foods in the Amazon era. The letter outlines the letter outlines several demands, including $15 minimum wage for all employees, 401k matching, paid maternity leave, lower health insurance deductibles, and more. And a quote from that letter was, "We cannot let Amazon remake the entire North American retail landscape without embracing the full value of its team members. The success of Amazon and Whole Foods should not come at the cost of exploiting our dedication and threatening our economic stability."
So I know this is gonna sound crazy. There's two sides to this.
Oh,
so
there's-
don't listen to just my first part. Well, listen to my first part, but also listen to my second part. I can totally agree with all those demands. based on when they worked for Whole Foods. Because I feel like when Amazon bought Whole Foods, that's what part of what they were buying into. Whole Foods could definitely afford all those things that they've asked for. Because Whole Foods is not cheap.
No, you pay a premium there.
You
as
absolutely
a consumer.
do, and you can't freaking find Advil. You find some homeopathic white Tic Tac
that costs twice as much.
I'm going to need something more than Advil.
I don't know how much it costs, but it did not work.
But the letter,
I was desperate.
The letter also called out both Jeff Bezos and Whole Foods CEO John Mackey directly. It says another quote says there will, quote, continue to be layoffs in 2019 and beyond as Amazon aims to aggressively trim our labor force before it expands with new technology and labor models, end quote.
And that's the thing, though, that they need to realize. Amazon now owns it. They can do with it what they want.
And then now,
if you don't like it, go start a Half Foods.
Yeah, and a statement. There was a statement. This is a TechCrunch article that I'm reading from, but there was a statement that
Three-quarter foods.
There was a statement from Whole Foods to say they respect individual rights to their team members, and it went on to say, we have an open door policy that encourages team members to bring their comments, questions, and concerns directly to their team leaders. We believe this direct connection is the most effective way to understand and respond to the needs of our workforce and creates an atmosphere that fosters open communication and empowerment. We offer competitive wages and benefits and are committed to the growth and success of our team members.
Wrote the HR director.
Yeah. Or PR, HR, PR, probably legal, all of them together.
Yeah. So,
and they're going to say, thank you for coming in. We hear you. We don't want to go that direction. By the way, you'll be let off in 2 months.
Another thing real quick. This is really quick. You can read the article, but this is from University of Central Florida. So there's new research from that university that says Pluto is a planet.
Woo! Pluto's back, baby.
That's Michael cheering right there. So it lost its status in 2006, but according to some latest research that UCF is part of, they say it's a planet now. It's back, baby. And that is not going green. So I'm not going to play that clip.
God.
I will say the verdict's still out. We're going to hear it.
Pluto's back, baby.
Flip flop.
Well, we've enjoyed it, and we thank you so much for joining the Hey Techie Show. From all of us to all of you, have a fabulous weekend.
The Hey Techie Show is produced by The Guru and co-produced by Mike Stedham. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of the Hey Techie Show. It's going to be great, maybe.